Welcome to United Report, your daily hub for all things Manchester United, from transfer news and match updates to exclusive stories. We've got you covered. If you're a true Red Devil, hit subscribe and join the United family. Glory, glory, Man United. Manchester United face a pivotal campaign this season and planning is already well underway. A number of Red Devils return to Carrington on Monday for their first day of pre-season, and it's probably fair to say that Ruben Amorim will have his stars hard at work as he attempts to recover from what was a woeful season last time out. Fortunately, work has already started on their summer business. A £62.5 million deal for Matheus Cunha has already been rubber-stamped, with the Brazilian joining from Wolves, while Diego Leon became United's second addition of the summer. But the work is not expected to end there. A new winger, as well as a striker, are also on the club's shopping list. But will those deals get done in time? There's less than 2 weeks before United's first pre-season friendly of the summer against Leeds, so Amorim will be keen to get moving. Take a look at the most pressing issues that the Portuguese coach needs to sort. The Brentford star has emerged as the Red Devils' prime target of the summer, and all the signs point towards the deal being done. United have faced competition from Premier League rivals Tottenham, but Mbeumo is currently prioritising a switch to Old Trafford. They have had 2 bids for Mbeumo rejected and are now contemplating a third, which will be in the region of £65. And should all go to plan, United will be optimistic of getting a deal done sooner rather than later. A deal for Mbeumo will take United's spending this summer to around £130, meaning they will likely need sales to offset that outlay, and there are already a number of candidates to leave. Last season's loanees Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford and Antony are all high on the list of potential departures, so Amorim will be very hopeful of finding suitors for all of the 3. The exits are unlikely to stop there though. Goalkeeper Andre Onana is a candidate to leave on loan, while left-back Tyrell Malacia is unlikely to have a future at the club following a season with PSV. Finally, Alejandro Garnacho could also be sold amid apparent interest from Chelsea and Napoli. Amorim will surely want the future of his misfits decided before they fly away for their pre-season tour, but that could well be a tough task. Speaking of departures, Onana is one of a host of players who could leave. The Cameroonian goalkeeper has endured a tricky few seasons since joining for big money from Inter Milan. Reports have suggested that United are open to letting him leave on loan amid apparent interest from Monaco, and that has seen the club linked with a host of goalkeepers, including Aston Villa's Emi Martinez and Botafogo star John Victor. Amorim must come to a decision over his number 1 sooner rather than later. If he decides to let Onana go, a replacement needs to be signed, but if he stays, Amorim needs to make it clear that he is his man going forward. And while Amorim has a decision to make between the sticks, the same could be said of the centre of his attack. Cunha and Mbeumo represent excellent additions to United's front line, but they are unlikely to be leading the line this coming season. Central striker has long been on the club's shopping list. Victor Gyökeres was a strong candidate for a move, but he now appears likely to become an Arsenal player instead. It could potentially leave United in a tricky position where they don't have enough funds for a new striker, which may have to see Amorim put his faith in Rasmus Højlund, but that decision needs to be made first. The past few seasons have obviously been rotten for United, but there is one place that they have excelled, giving academy stars an opportunity. Kobbie Mainoo and Toby Collier are 2 of the standout success stories over recent seasons. But with a lack of European football next season, the best way for the club's young stars to get experience might be loan spells away. Dan Gore, Harry Amas and Ethan Wheatley are candidates for temporary moves, while there are also plenty of promising stars in the club's academy ranks who could benefit from moves. Manchester United have announced the signing of youngster Diego Leon. The Paraguayan defender's move had been agreed months ago, but he has now officially joined from Cerro Porteño. Fullback Leon, who turned 18 in April, has already played 33 senior games and scored 4 goals for Porteño. United said in a statement that Leon as an emerging talent will be supported by our first team and the academy whilst he settles into life in Manchester. Leon is United's second official signing of the summer window, following Matheus Cunha's £62.5 million arrival from Wolves, while they maintain a strong interest in bringing in Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. The Leon announcement follows confirmation that 5 players, including Marcus Rashford, have been granted permission to return late to pre-season training so they can work on finding a new club. Cunha has been given Rashford's number 10 shirt ahead of the new season, and the Brazilian will be among those reporting for duty on Monday, with head coach Ruben Amorim already pictured at work in Carrington. Rashford remains of interest to Bayern Munich and Barcelona, who have failed in their attempt to sign Nico Williams from Athletic Bilbao. Aston Villa, for whom Rashford shone in parts while on loan for the second half of last season, decided against picking up an option to make his switch permanent. Beyond Rashford, United have granted permission for 4 other players to not return for pre-season training on Monday as they seek moves away. Alejandro Garnacho was reportedly told he could find a new club after row over being benched for May's Europa League final defeat to Tottenham Hotspur in Bilbao. Chelsea turned down the chance to sign Jadon Sancho for $5 million at the end of his mediocre loan move last season and has recently been linked with a switch to Juventus. Antony spent the second half of last season on loan at Real Betis and was keen on making deal permanent, but financial hurdles have complicated it, while left-back Tyrell Malaysia was at PSV Eindhoven for the second portion of last season, making 12 appearances in all competitions. The winds of change are blowing strong at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford has been stripped of his iconic number 10 shirt, now handed to new signing Matheus Cunha, in a clear sign that the England Stars United chapter is all but over. But he's not alone. Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, Antony and Malaysia have all told the club they want out. As pre-season nears, United are bracing for one of the biggest clear-outs in recent history. Ruben Amorim's rebuild is picking up pace. But who will actually leave, and where will they land? Let's break it all down. Marcus Rashford has seen his number 10 shirt at Manchester United handed to Matheus Cunha, in another sign that there will be no return for the England striker at Old Trafford. Indeed, Rashford is one of 5 players who want to leave the club, and having informed the club of their desire to do so, will be allowed to report for duty later in July, rather than reporting back at Carrington next week for pre-season testing. The other 4 are Alejandro Garnacho, Jadon Sancho, Antony and Tyrell Malaysia. All will be allowed to report for pre-season back at Carrington late, as they seek to finalise moves away, having told the club they are keen to move on. The club have confirmed that their medical and rehabilitation facilities will remain available to the players should they want it. Remote support will also continue as it has during the off-season. Sources also insist that if the players cannot get themselves fixed up with moves elsewhere, then they will be welcomed back ahead of the new season, although it will then be down to head coach Ruben Amorim to decide what to do with them. Rashford, who spent the second half of last season on loan at Aston Villa, loses his number 10 shirt at the club as he continues to push for a move away. He is keen to try his luck in another country, with Barcelona his preferred destination. That move has appeared unlikely for much of the summer, with Barca prioritising a move for Spain winger Nico Williams. But amid worries over the Blaugrana's ability to register Williams if they paid his release clause to Athletic Bilbao, amid the club's financial issues, the player has duly signed a new long-term deal with Athletic until 2035, confirming that he won't be moving this summer. That offers an opening to Rashford, either on a permanent deal or on loan, particularly with Liverpool insisting that another Barca target, Luis Diaz, is going nowhere this summer. Sancho is looking to join Juventus after seeing Chelsea pay $5 million to get out of spending $25 million to sign him permanently after his loan spell, while Garnacho, who had been an important piece of Amorim's side for much of last term, is seeking an exit after falling out with the Portuguese. Frustrated at only being a substitute in the Europa League final loss to Spurs, his post-match comments were the last straw, and he was told by the United boss he can leave. Malaysia has been out on loan at PSV Eindhoven, who decided not to make his loan move permanent for £8.3 million and has no future at the club after an injury hit spell, while Antony was a major hit on loan at Real Betis, who are eager to sign him permanently if they can negotiate an affordable price. Another option is sending him back to Seville on a season-long loan deal, with an obligation to buy next summer, with United looking to recoup around £30 on the Brazilian. The tension at Old Trafford is reaching boiling point. Just days before Manchester United kick off their pre-season under Ruben Amorim, the futures of Jadon Sancho and Alejandro Garnacho hang in the balance. Sancho is pushing for a Serie A escape with Juventus circling, while Garnacho's latest stunt wearing a Rashford Villa shirt has only deepened his rift with the manager. With Rashford, Garnacho and Sancho all on the brink, and transfer business still stalling, United fans are bracing for a summer of major changes. Will Amorim survive the chaos, or is this just the beginning? Manchester United's players are entering their last weekend before pre-season training kicks off on Monday, with a reminder from Ruben Amorim that they will be expected to post personal bests across a series of physical challenges. But Amorim is still waiting for an update around potential arrivals and departures, with interest in Victor Gyökeres cooling, an eagerness to sign Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford maintained, and a host of speculation around expected departures. That includes wingers Jadon Sancho and Alejandro Garnacho, both of whom could head abroad with Serie A on the cards for the former in a bargain deal. Argentina's Garnacho, however, will cost around £50 million. Jadon Sancho has held talks with Juventus in a bid to end his miserable time at Old Trafford. England winner Sancho spent last season on loan at Chelsea, but the Blues decided against paying £5 million to make his move permanent. He moved to United from Borussia Dortmund in 2021 for £73 million, but has scored just 9 goals. And with no future under Ruben Amorim at United, he is seeking a move abroad, and the Serie A giants have made their firm interest clear, according to various reports. Former Manchester United captain Roy Keane would have taken Alejandro Garnacho out on the training pitch for his latest show of petulance. Garnacho, who has fallen out of favour at United, posted on social media a picture of him wearing an Aston Villa top with Marcus Rashford's name and number on the back. Rashford spent the second half of last season on loan at Villa after falling out with boss Ruben Amorim, and Garnacho's provocative stunt was seen as him taunting the United boss after he too suffered the same fate as the England forward. Garnacho was dropped for United's 1-0 Europa League final defeat to Tottenham in Bilbao, prompting the winger who turned 21 yesterday to publicly criticise Amorim over the decision and reveal he was considering his future. That in turn convinced Amorim that Garnacho has no place in his future plans, with the club actively looking to sell the $50 million rated Argentina international this summer. Romelu Lukaku has claimed that he never wanted a move to Manchester United but was swayed by his agent. The Belgian striker signed for the Red Devils in 2017 in a £75 million deal. His switch came after a prolific spell, with Everton having scored 87 goals in 166 appearances for the Toffees. And things started well for Lukaku at Old Trafford, having scored 27 goals across his debut campaign. But things soon went awry, having fallen out of favour during his second season, while he found the net just 15 times. Lukaku was eventually sold to Italian giants Inter Milan. The forward has now admitted that he was never clamouring for a move to United.